I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
And this is Visigoth.
Traitor's Gate.
Traitor's Gate. I think they're talking about Sori.
No, I was literally thinking that they were talking about you. Honest to goodness. And then I didn't say it because I was going to be a nice person.
Sori's trying to stunt in front of her friends because right now we're live streaming this taping. So there's like 88 of our closest friends are in the live stream now. She's acting all extra. Anyway, for timely, topical, political commentary, you can hit us up in Real America with Vin and Sori. And there are multiple ways to get your song reviewed. Dear listener, my favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon, where you, dear listener, can decide for us what songs we're going to do.
Yep.
Now, $1 at the gate gets you to Patreon. Now, if you are a filthy capitalist like Sori over here and you don't want to work in an alliance, you can hop, skip, and jump in front of everybody. $1.25 Vin and Sori merch at paypal.com. No, Vin and Sori merch at gmail.com, and PayPal will get you straight to the head of the line. And if you do that 3 times fast, you get pushed down to the $75 rate, which I believe
Metlcat is absolutely
he definitely needs to be at the $75 rate.
If you're not, reach out to me.
Yeah.
That's been known to happen.
Yeah. So Metlcat, reach out to Sori, okay? And if you're paid, we'll hit you back because you're only supposed to be at 75 right now. So stop with the 125s if you're doing it. All right. So this is Visigoth. Traitor's Gate. This should be I'm actually really interested in this, actually.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, let's go. Oh, it's live. Even better. Full screen, please. Por favor.
Oh, we should have posted the list.
I got it.
Is the crown of death, fear in its chilling breath. Howls like wraiths upon the wind. Watch with weeping eyes, flames on a bleeding sky. I have seen true betrayal. Sorrow fills my soul, reforged by the cold flames of hate, past the point of no return. Vengeance, guide my hand. Brothers no more, in single combat we stand. Now draw your final breath. Bitter is the end.
Brother Minister.
Fly through the traitor's gate. I am the weaver that rides on the cold wings of hate. So feel my return. Stand, be my blazing guide, lighting my way like torches that murder the night. So feel my return. Betrayer, deceiver, my I stand, grim as the winter night's jaws. Thus I descend, ironclad in my resolve. So make your peace with every god that abandoned you on your last night. Reap now what you've sown. I am the scythe, I am the revenant blade. Weep now, well done. Betrayer, deceiver, my words are a sword of cleansing flame. Betrayer, deceiver, I vomit a curse upon your name. Open the traitor's gate, so fear my return. I am the hammer of fate. Open the traitor's gate, so fear my return. I am the hammer of fate. Fear my return. Die, traitor, die.
Holy shit. Die, traitor, die.
Lock me in the eye. Die, coward, die. As I take your life.
That's the first time.
Wow.
I don't know. These guys, they sound kind of power metal-ish. They sound kind of like power metal, you know, like the those high vocals. Woo!
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But this is like the first like power metal type song that had like a death metal type attitude for me.
Yes, but it also had like the vocal style. It's kind of like an opera-ish. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, yeah,
it has
that's
yeah,
power
I know.
metal, yeah.
It's very like theatrical.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like metal, and it's interesting that they've interwoven the two. Even though I know we've heard stuff like that before, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's just surprising to look at that guy with that out. Well, we don't usually see like lives.
Yeah.
So you're like looking at this guy, and he's got like the spikes, and he's like, oh, it's like you wouldn't expect it.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, it's power metal, it's theatrical, big, type, you know. But the attitude was like almost Slipknot. Die, look me in the eye.
Yeah, look me in the eye. I know.
Yeah, like.
Should we be concerned?
That's usually like a Slayer line or whatever. Like you don't really expect to hear that in power metal.
Not.
So I really, because as soon as I heard the name like Visigoth, I'm like, okay, like. That's gonna be a black metal. That's gonna be a black metal band. Like that's what I expected. And usually, you know, like how like when I've got a Sprite and then I take a swig of your drink and usually have water, I'm always like,
disgusting.
Then you start with an expectation, and then you know, this song actually changed my mood because you were annoying.
Oh my gosh, you're so mean.
No, I was so frustrated with you. But the song actually lifted my spirits.
Oh well, that's good. Thank you, Metlcat.
Yeah, shout out to the homie. Shout out to Metlcat. I wish he was here.
You know that phrase, like, if the wife ain't happy, ain't nobody happy? It's actually flipped.
Happy wife, happy life is the actual
flipped.
phrase.
Well, no, there's two.
And it's in the Bible. So, there's that.
It's flipped in this house. Vinny's happy, everybody can be happy. Vinny's not happy. Although even if you're happy,
I'm usually unhappy in the house.
Right.
It's usually because of you.
So prior to having me in your life,
prior to you, I was like, you ever see the commercials?
You were such a liar. You were skipping
like those Claritin commercials where people going through all the fields of dandelions because they no longer have.
You're a liar.
You know the allergies because
you're
it's
a liar. I'm pulling up
antihistamine.
the lyrics because you're a liar.
The lyrics are right there. We can see right there.
Yeah, but I know I like my own because I don't like the way you scroll.
It's about a traitor like you. So, yeah, sonically, I love this song.
Well, it can become a reality for you if you keep it up.
What? That you're gonna kill me with a sword? You're the worst.
You're the worst.
Sonically, I love the song. Lyrically, I really love the song. When I was a kid, and when I say kid, I'm talking about teenager and things like that. Like that was a big thing, like betrayal. Like you that does not happen. And of course, a lot of those systems and codes are created as like survival mechanisms because when you're in such a tribalistic environment like we were, betrayal is it's kind of dramatic, but it's an existential threat. Like you could somebody there was a situation where somebody pulled a knife on my friend, and then we had a girl that was one of our friends. She wasn't our girlfriend. I mean, she had girlfriends, but we were trying to figure out how to get this guy who pulled a knife on my friend, and that's how he did it. That's how they did it. Was they she hooked up with the guy, blah blah blah. Let's meet here, here, and here. And it was outside of where he lived, and it was where we were, and whatever. So, like, those codes in the street, they're not just like a code of honor type of thing. A lot of it, and I'm sure
it's
back
for good reason.
Yeah, it's a survival thing. It's like people used to like execute you in whatever. Like if you run. They'd execute you because, you let one guy do it, then the whole
everybody's
thing.
Gonna get
so, like, on a macro level, like, betrayal at times, like, has to be punished most severely because, it's an existential threat. But, on the other hand, most betrayals nowadays, most people are not in, like, these terrible situations where people are getting, whatever.
Yeah.
Most betrayals are not personal. And I think that's, like, one of the big... I don't know if a disconnect is a word, but like, we went through a situation or whatever, and a person could say that some people betrayed us or whatever, but I didn't really.
A person would say that. Lots of people would say that.
I didn't really take it that.
You didn't take it personally like that.
Yeah, I just didn't take it seriously because where I'm from, it's like, well, were people trying to kill y'all? But like, no, they were just saying crazy shit about you on Facebook. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So from that perspective, like that kind of betrayal, like I don't do a very good job at like, I don't think I was doing it. I was very supportive. I don't think of you because I couldn't really like, enter into it or feel it because I'm like, oh, nobody's trying to hurt you, nobody's trying to kill you, nobody's trying to, whatever. So, and the other thing for me, I was like, well, I mean, those people were, were always like that.
Yeah, I didn't see it that way,
but this dude, kind of made
howls like wreaths upon the wind.
This dude kind of made.
Was it a wraith? How do they say that?
Yeah, where?
Right
Wraith?
here.
Oh, Wraith.
Wraith.
Like those.
Oh, I know exactly what it is, but I just couldn't remember how they pronounced it.
Yeah. So, like, that's kind of the situation.
You know what? The way he writes it too. Cold is the crown of death. Fear in its chilling breath howls like the wreaths upon... What is it? Wraiths? Wraiths?
Yeah.
But then he says, watch with weeping eyes, flames on bleeding sky. I have seen true betrayal.
Yeah.
Just the way he says it, you can feel those words. You reacted to that whole situation where you were like, well, people are people, sin nature, blah, blah, blah. And it didn't hit. For me... That betrayal was it still hurts me to this day. And honestly, the channel was a huge thing that helped me through that because we were able to like, make new friends and stuff. But I think at the same time, still part of me is like, wait, that means anybody could flip on anybody. And so then it kind of makes you feel like nobody's safe. Then I just come to the conclusion that like literally I feel like you're the only one that would never flip on me.
Yeah, I just think that you know, when I was coming up, like, we went through certain rites of passages, like, oh, there's 8 dudes coming after you, and it's just you and your friend. Mm-hmm. So if that guy stays with you, then there's a good chance that if things get real bad, he's going to stay with you. Mm-hmm. But in this area, there's no real cost to being anybody's friend. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and most, and that's a good thing. Like, it's like you were saying.
Yeah,
you know,
no,
it's
I see what you're saying.
There was a cost to being friends with some of the friends I was with, and vice versa. You know, Vin's gonna do something, girls, some guys gonna blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there is a real cost in being associated with people. You know, where I'm from, where you're from, there's no cost. Everybody's like, you know, it's like so. There's no real way to test whether or not the persons are real, because most of the time, the first time there's an actual test is when they flip on you.
Yeah.
Like, this is the first time they were really tested, and they you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But, you know, to me, it's like, I just don't believe in holding people like impossible standards. Like, if you were not raised and socialized to have that kind of mentality to stand up to, you know, whatever, then how can you expect them to do that, like, when the chips are down? Like, that's my thing. It's like, you can't really expect people to do stuff that's, like, out of their character.
Yeah, I just think that I wouldn't expect somebody who wasn't used to, like, putting their life on the line to do something like that. But, like, what do you mean you don't know how to stay true to somebody in the midst of a conflict? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, people don't know how to do that when there's a price to pay, because they've never had to practice it.
Ugh. Yeah, I guess you're right. So
coming up in our environment, there was a price to pay to be friends with somebody. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter who.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So that's why my brother wasn't friends with anybody in high school. You know, I always talk about how he made it through Truman High and never had any altercations with anybody and all that.
He stayed distant.
Yeah. He stayed to himself. He didn't talk to any girls, and he didn't really have any friends. You know, and so, you know what? He was good. He was basically fly on the wall, and he was able to just cruise through there without any problems. Mm-hmm. You know, so anyway.
Sorrow fills my soul, reforged by the cold flames of hate, past the point of no return. That's what happens when you feel that betrayal, and then it, like, really, really gets inside of you. It's not good. I mean, like, obviously, as we heard the ending lines of this, when he's saying, like, he's gonna kill them and they should look at his eyes when he's killing them. Like, it obviously cut the man really deeply.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think of, like, killing anybody. Like, that didn't come into my head in the situation, but I felt deeply, deeply hurt by it.
Yeah.
And you didn't.
Well, I mean, we did have a situation.
Vengeance guide my hand.
Yeah, we did have a situation where we were in a bad situation and one of the guys ran.
Yeah, you've said that. Mm-hmm.
And, you know, people really wanted to hurt that guy. Like, they really wanted to hurt him. Mm-hmm. And I said, nah, don't touch him. We just never ever going to speak to that guy ever again. Mm-hmm. Like, so we did, like, he was dead. Mm-hmm. Like, we would see him in the hall, and he'd be like, what's up, y'all, blah, blah, blah. Or he'd be like, yo, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. And, like, I told everybody, I'm like, do not, you know, don't jam him up. Don't put him up against a locker. Don't, just, like, the guy is dead. Like, dead. So everybody went with that. And now looking back, I'm like, it probably would have been better if we would have just all jumped on him and beat the hell out of him for a minute and then called it good and then kept going with him.
Yeah.
Because he looked pretty hurt. He looked pretty hurt by that.
Yeah, and that's a long, oh my God.
Now, he was done. Like, he was, you know, we literally, nobody ever talked to that guy ever again. So, you know, he ended up transferring schools or something like that. But
yeah, it's just that'd be too painful.
Yeah, but, you know, people were seething mad. And I think it's because everybody was mad, I was able to feel sorry for him. Because I felt sorry for him. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, you know, you can't do that. Mm-hmm. You just can't do that.
Yeah, betrayed everybody like
that. Yeah. He stopped me one time and he was like, blah, blah, blah. Like, he tried to corner me to talk because it was really getting to him. Mm-hmm. You know, and I was just like, I said, you're dead, man. You might as well be dead. So that was that. We never talked to the kid ever again. But
oh my gosh.
You know, we're 16 years old. I mean, now looking back, I'm like,
so extreme.
I thought I was being nice to him.
Oh, really?
The dudes wanted to jam him up. I mean, we were in a bad situation.
Oh, yeah.
And he ran. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so, you know, I mean, and
I bet you he would have gone through the.
We didn't end up. It didn't go very well for us that day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he would not have been the difference. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have been the difference. But the point is,
but at least he would have gone down with the ship.
That's the thing. And I'm certain if he had the chance to do it over again, that's what he would have done. But you know, it is what it is. But people hated that kid for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
They hated him for a long time. But I was able to feel sorry for him. But you feel both of those in those situations. Like, you know, and yeah, you know, like obviously, you know, I wish, you know, now, you know, hey, Julio, man, you know, hey, hope everything's going good for you and all that jazz. Shout out to the homie.
It's tough though because like he says like, you know, like he's gonna throw up a curse on the person's name.
He said I vomit a curse on your name. That was some gangster shit.
No mercy left in my heart. I'll never back down.
Yeah.
You know, death shall stalk you. Whoever betrayed this guy, like he was seriously. Wow.
Yeah, he felt it.
Yeah, really, really deep.
But see, betrayal is one of those things where, like, you have to have a deep relationship to you know, that doesn't really work with strangers. You know, there's certain crimes that anybody can commit, but betrayal is only something that a lover can commit. And I mean lover in, like, the literal sense, like somebody you love or whatever. So, you know, that's one of those, that's a separate type of thing. And people have you know, that's even, if you look at Dante's Inferno, like, the people in the ninth circle of hell, you know, or Judas, basically, and the devil, like, traitors, you know,
right.
I just think in human psychology, and, you know, probably has to do with, you know, whatever people believe, but we probably, you know, we started out in the caves and the, you know, tribalism. I mean, that's how, you know, and so that type of thing, like, you know, evolutionarily speaking, like, we had to kind of psychologically clear the community of that because, you know, that's a survival mechanism. So I just think, and obviously in Christianity, you know, like, that's the greatest act of redemption was brought about by technically the greatest human sin that you can commit, which is betrayal.
Right.
And I think there's
something to be learned from.
Yeah, I think there's something to be learned from that, you know. And obviously Jesus handled. It's really interesting, right? Because you had two traitors that night. You had Peter, you had Judas. And Jesus looks at Peter and says, "May I pray for you that your faith not fail, and when you return, strengthen your brothers." And then he looks at Judas and said, "It'd be better if you were never born." Like, that shit is crazy, bro. Same night.
Yeah.
Same night. Like, it's insane, you know. So I'm still, the whole Peter and Judas thing is, I did a talk on that one time, and it was like the most, to me, that talk was, and we never even recorded it, that was the craziest like Bible lesson I've ever done in my life, because it was just like, it was just so crazy just looking at those two.
Yeah.
Those two people and how Jesus reacted with both of them. It was just like, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling
Yeah.
to me. And if you really look at it, Judas did more to try to, like, make it right than
I know.
Than
I
Peter
know.
did. You know, so it's just,
I know. It's
a weird thing, man. It's a weird thing. Betrayal in the human psyche is just it's a crazy thing. But man, I love this song, man. Die, traitor, die. Look me in the eye. Die, coward, die, as I take your life. That's deep, bro. That's deep. What do you get the song?
a 9.8. I really liked it.
This is a 9.78 for me. Really, really good song. Shout out to Julio. Really, bro.
Shout out to Metlcat.
Shout out
very,
to
very good song. I liked it.
Shout out to Metlcat. Good song. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.